Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I just wanted to talk about personally the short journey that I have personally been through so far with drifting. So I recently found an old memory card that contained loads of old videos from like my very first drift day, and they are terrible. So yeah, there's probably going to be a bit of cringe in here for drifters, but they were pretty bad. So I'm going to start from the very beginning. Yeah, so on the 24th of December 2015 I posted on Facebook and said, looks like it's time to go drifting, with two pictures of my first E36. Now, this was a 318 coupe. I'll throw pictures of it on the screen now. And now this had some fun stories behind it. So I bought it on Christmas Eve, and I wanted my first drift day to be the New Year's event that year. So that meant stripping the car out, plumbing in a hydro, the diff was welded already, a few bits and bobs here and there. So I started out by ripping out the whole interior, and I don't think I can't find any of the pictures of that. I wish I still had them. But yeah, I started out by ripping out the interior, and then it came time to do the hydro. Now this could have been done long before it, but it was the day before the drift event that we decided to install the hydro. Me and my friend Stuart gave me a hand, because I'd never done anything like this at the time, and he hadn't really either, but he was he at least is a mechanic, so he kind of knew what he was doing. So we got this old fucking like blown ass dual fucking dual cylinder hydraulic handbrake out of one of my dad's old Escort Cosworth shells, and we quickly found that one of the cylinders was actually fucked, so it wasn't going to work. So we had to rig it up a way where we could get, because it was a dual line, I mean a line went into each cylinder and that controlled each wheel. So we needed to find a way to make it so we could just use the one. So we ended up plumbing it up into the one and blocking off the cylinder, the other cylinder, and we were up till, I think we started like 7 o'clock at night, and we finished at like 6 o'clock or something in the morning. No, so we were drifting, well I was drifting at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something. So it was a quick run home to get some sleep and a shower, and then get straight back up and go up to Driftland on maybe an hour's worth of sleep. Anyway, so we get to Driftland at the time that was specified, probably about 9 o'clock or something. Jump into briefing, first ever briefing, nervous as hell. Obviously, I mean, I had my S14 on the road at this point, but I'd never driven on track, period, like at all. I had no track experience whatsoever. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never intentionally tried to drift a car before, so I'd never even driven this car before. That's what was really terrifying me at the time. I'd never driven the car before. So my friend was there, Ricky Lawrence, I've spoke about him before, and this was maybe his third or fourth drift event at this time. We both kind of started running about the same time. So yeah, he kind of walked me through what to do, and so I had this old fucking, like, I think it was a Hero 1 or something, so plumped that on the roof of the thing, and managed to find the footage. So I'm going to throw that in right now. I hope you enjoy it. It's fucking horrible. after I'd done about 2 events in the Red E36 and broke the engine mount and stuff, my friend Ricky actually tagged me in a post from up north in Aberdeenshire where there was a boy selling a black E36, but this time it was a 323i, and he was selling it cheap. On the 20th of February, me and my friend Stuart drove from where I live to Aberdeenshire, which is maybe about 3.5–4 hours, to pick up this car. And when I picked it up, it was in a sorry state. It was kinda, it had recently been resprayed, just gloss black, but it had been, I think the guy had this horrible fiberglass front bumper on it, and it had been parked in his drive, and I think his drive had loads of grass and stuff on it, and I think when he reversed it into his drive and destroyed the front bumper. So when I got it, the front bumper was like non-existent, it was ruined. So maybe like a week later we started working on the car. So the one thing I regret about the black E36 was that I fully ripped out the interior. I kind of wish I'd kept like the carpets and the roof lining and stuff and the door cards, but I like fully, like full send ripped everything out the car, so it was just like a bare shell. This car was absolutely disgusting. Like, here's, like, that's a picture of like a dirty sock in the car. Like, it was absolutely disgusting. I think there was actually an empty bottle of Buckfast underneath one of the seats. Kept standard seats, threw a wheel and a steering wheel boss and stuff in it, switched over the welded diff and threw a hydro in it, and it was fine. So we went to first drift event a couple of weeks after that. So here's what the car ended up looking like before, like just before its first drift day.
Pressure on the rear tires.
And decided to completely transform the car for whatever reason. The car was fine, I don't know why I decided to do this, but whatever. So I plastered up the car. I actually plastered up to the colour that the BMW is, that the Nissan is right now. And the whole reason I plastered up the Nissan that colour is because I had the stuff left over from it. So yeah, we plastered up to that matte grey, and done a few other things to it here and there, but nothing really major. And I think I ran it like that for a good 4 or 5 months, just this grey, and it worked, it done well, you know, it was enough for me. But then eventually also the time comes you want to go faster, you want to pull bigger angle, and that's when I really started to modify the car. And you know, around about this time was kind of the time I started to want to make videos, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I think I might have some footage somewhere of me trying to make a video on this, but I was like ripping, we had put modified hubs on the car and extended arms, so the front track width got really wide, and then I had to space it out because it was rubbing. So with the wheel spacers and everything else, it was massive pokes, so I thought, right, we'll get some front over fenders. So I threw them on, and if I can find the footage I will put that in right now. Hopefully I still have it, if not I'm sorry. Alright, so we put these over fenders on it, and it was like, I think it was coming up on the SDC licensing day, and then like the second, I think it was for SDC's second season or something. So I decided to go for it. So what I done was I booked a private day during the week on the lead up. So I taken a day off work, booked a private day. A few of my friends came down with me, and went out just to get a bit of practice. And then licensing came about in my head about this, and I was stressing out so bad, and I was really anxious about it, that I just decided to go get it over with. On the private day it was completely dry, and with my luck on the actual licensing day it was soaking wet, and it was like I almost didn't realise how much different the car was going to handle in the wet. So I went absolutely bombing down the straight, and initiated into the first corner, but as I initiated, I pulled the hydro, flicked the car sideways and overcorrected, and so the car actually gripped and went back and nose was facing towards the wall, at which point I then swung it the other way and I got this big horrible tank slapper on, which eventually ended with the front end of the car hitting the wall. It wasn't too bad, it just bent one of the arms underneath, kind of knocked off the tracking, and I was able to continue the rest of the day, but the car felt horrible. It was just all over the place, and unfortunately I didn't get my licence. I'd also decided I wanted to change the car again, and that's when I decided to put a wrap on it. So I seen this wrap, I think it was TUS Chunky that made it on Forza. It was one of the Slap Trains videos on Forza Horizon 3 when it first came out, and it was this black E46 M3 with some sort of like drift car tribal style on it, and I just thought it was really cool and decided to try and replicate it. Obviously I messaged TUS Chunky and asked him first, and he was so stoked on it, he couldn't wait, he wanted me to do it. He even offered to make a custom livery for the car, and I was like, no, this one's fine, I really like this. So we went ahead, and it didn't turn out perfect, but I mean, it kind of got it. Now that I don't have the car, looking back on it, I'm like, it could have been done better. I mean, that's kind of just how the car ended up. Kind of stayed like that for a wee while, then we started getting these overheating issues coming back up again, so sent the car to Driftland. They fixed it along with numerous other things that I didn't realise were wrong with the car. Just because I'm not a mechanic, he completely transformed the car. Went out a couple of weeks later, and honestly the car was brilliant. It's worth mentioning that actually in this time frame I'd also had a full roll cage put in, and actually I think I tried to make a video of me stripping out the rest of the interior in preparation for the roll cage going in, so once again if I can find that I'll throw it in. They were having a wee seat in my E36 drift car and ready to put a roll cage in it, so, but it's pretty disgusting, so I was going to get a wee clean as well. Okay, so now that the car is as well clean as it can be, we're going to start stripping this. So yeah, tails out of there, out you come. Oh, it's so nasty. Stop, I do. Yeah, that's kind of how the BMW ended up. A picture of it here now, so you can see how it was. Yeah, and then we're basically up to date. Like, that was just October or something of last year that Ricky decided to sell his S14, and then I ended up buying it, and now obviously we've done everything we've done to the S14, and that has basically been my journey through drifting. But as I said, well, I was away drifting a couple of weeks ago and I never actually made a video with it, so I'm going to throw a couple of clips in now, just so we can see the full progression from my very first drift day to my most recent drift day. But that's enough of me talking. I'll put these clips on now. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you're still there. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. our bumpers off.
Is it going to be red tint or is it going to be happy?
Yeah, it was a game, right. Back end looks like shit now.